Today on Readus Reviews, I review Solo, a Star Wars story. AKA the Lucasfilm Star Wars project that had so many controversies and changes and everything attached to it that I just had zero expectations for this bitch. You know, outside of Donald Glover being Lando Calrissian, that was about it. So the story pretty much tells the tale about everything that you know about Han Solo leading up to A New Hope. It tells the story of how he met Chewbacca, it tells the story about how he met Lando, it tells the story of how he acquired the Millennium Falcon. And the main plot pretty much revolves around how he, did the Kessel Run. As a matter of fact, the main plot actually shows us what the fuck a Kessel Run is. It's like how Attack of the Clones answered the question of what the fuck were the Clone Wars when it was mentioned in A New Hope, except this one was more fun to watch. And yeah, I was completely surprised with how well Ron Howard was able to turn this from a shit show to an enjoyable watch. Whatever footage that the Jump Street Boys filmed before he was attached to the project kind of was able to be melded perfectly. I still don't know how the fuck he did that. You know that thing that you heard about how that when they filmed it, they pretty much tossed the script and 80% of the dialogue was improv? I just reversed that with Ron Howard. There was solid dialogue, a solid interaction between the majority of the characters. And there was definitely some comedy remnants from the Jump Street Boys that did survive the movie, more specifically when it came to Han's boasting. But at the same time, even that was in character to the point where it was when he did it, it was that was something totally what Han would do. Speaking of Han, let's go into the characters that stood out to me the most, starting with Han Solo. And he was an accurate Han Solo. I'm not even gonna lie. Can't pronounce the actor's name worth shit, but he did the thing. He did the thing pretty good. Especially since it was implied earlier on in the movie that this is a Han Solo stepping fresh into the world of Star Wars as we know it. He has his head in the clouds, he has big dreams and aspirations, he's definitely arrogant about his skill sets. You can definitely tell watching this movie that this is the beta version of Han Solo, leading up into how we actually know him to be in A New Hope. And like I said, Donald Glover's Lando Calrissian now. That's him now. And that's always going to be him, even if he's being Childish Gambino, even if he's being in another movie unrelated to Star Wars and Disney at all. That's your life now, Donald. Congratulations, you've done it. But out of the new characters they introduced in this movie, the one that surprised me the most was Qi'ra. Mostly because in every trailer that I saw for this movie, she just looked boring as fuck. She looked like she was going to be nothing more than a pretty face is going to be Han Solo's love interest, which she was. But they did a good job hinting and alluding over the course of the movie that there's more to her. She's done things that she's not necessarily proud of, and that she might be a bigger player in future movies. In which case, the ending of this movie, I'm not spoiling it for you, but the ending of this movie does a lot of things that I'm pretty sure Lucasfilm was going to do if they were absolutely sure that this was going to make bank. That's another thing that I also liked about this movie. They did a good job making sure that this was an anthology film, specifically with the one that told the quote-unquote origin story of Han Solo and made that the primary focus. But at the same time, they also did a very good job setting things up for other future movies that they have planned in the Empire era that are going to, I guess, connect, as opposed to just, be a full-fledged, trilogy saga, like Star Wars has been over the course of the years. I say that because they did something at the end of the movie that made me very happy. If you've seen the movie and you've seen either of the two animated series and you know how much of the aspect of Star Wars that I love, then you may already know what I'm talking about. I'm not spoiling it for you. I'm not spoiling it for you. Go see. Go see. I got retribution for a lot of pent-up years! All in all, readers, Solo, a Star Wars movie, was a movie that I had no expectations for and was completely blown out of the fucking water. I honestly wasn't expecting Ron Howard to turn out such a very decent product with the limited amount of time that he had in order for them to reach this release date. All resorting and producing a Star Wars origin movie that told the story of Han Solo, Lando, and how they met, and them actually being very, very on par with their characters from what we remember, while producing a solid movie on its own standing, while at the same time putting together the building blocks of something that Lucasfilm has more plans for in like the later on in the Empire era of Star Wars. Still waiting for something new though, but with the way that this ended, I'm excited and anxious to see what Lucasfilm has next for the Empire era. I'd say it's worth seeing in theaters, either full price or matinee, and worth a DVD or Blu-ray purchase on home video when it comes out. So with that, readers, your homework assignment for the day. Write in the comments section below what you thought of Solo, a Star Wars story if you've seen it. If you want to support the channel, you can get official merchandise by clicking the end card in the end of the video or in the link in the description below. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and every other Friday. But until then, this is Readus 101. Class dismissed.